By day, he is mild-mannered reporter Clark Tuesday. But when night falls, when evil dawns, and when professional wrestling is preempted by a sporting event or a dog show, he becomes Super Tuesday! Da-da-da! In true comic book style, which of the Fantastic Four became an Iron Man? Or did it end a little bit Doctor Strange? That's all I got. This is NXT Graded. We open with trios action. Legado del Fantasma taking on Breezango and Isaiah Swerve Scott in a six-man street fight. It starts hot with Whacking Wild being hoyed onto Breezango and Scott, and the fight immediately spills to the outside. We see Fandango doing the classic Terry Funk airplane ladder spin. We see Tyler Breeze blasting a fire extinguisher. They're taking the lead at this point, but the tide turns during the break when we see a replay of Fantasma landing a gorgeous three-person attack. Basically, it was two coast-to-coasts, one low baseball dropkick into a dustbin holding Fandango. We also see that Tyler Breeze gets put through a table during the break as well. Breeze is somehow fighting back from this, but here comes Imperium, angry about losing their tag titles last week, to attack Tyler Breeze. It looks as if Breeze is all alone and it's going to become a 5-on-1 assault. But then from the top of a forklift comes Fandango and Isaiah Swerve Scott, who dive into the ring off of the top of a forklift to change the tide once again in this match. We see Breezango and we see Swerve Scott fighting against the tide here. Eventually, Breezango wipe out Legado del Fantasma and Imperium, leaving Santos Escobar in the ring with Swerve. Swerve lands the JML driver and gets the 3. Swerve has pinned the Cruiserweight champion once again. He's getting good at that, isn't he? To close out this six-man street fight to get us started. I'm giving this an A-. Great way to start the night. Really hot, fast-paced action. Could have done with being a bit longer. I feel like that they rattled through quite a few spots, but the stuff that we did get was really great. And it's that simple storytelling of Swerve pinning the Cruiserweight champ, and just keeping that pressure on. I love that. It's real simple storytelling and I like it. This is an A-. Candice LeRae is out next. We see a video before this which talks about the broken friendship of Candice LeRae and Tegan Nox. We then get Candice in action against Kacy Catanzaro. Kacy is a fighter in this one, just pushes Candice, but Candice just keeps shutting her down. Very rare is Candice LeRae the big dog in a fight here, but she overpowers Kacy on multiple occasions. And just when it looks like Catanzaro is going to finally start to get close to a victory, she goes for a code breaker, which Kacy turns into a surfboard curb stomp for the 1, 2, 3. And that is that. Candice gets on the mic afterwards, addresses Tegan Nox, and invites her for dinner at the Garganos next week. Now, last time a wrestler invited another wrestler for some food, was it not the time that Bossman cooked Al Snow's dog? I'm quite concerned. C+ for this whole segment. It was fine. The match itself was good. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was there. It set something up for next week. A fired up Rhea Ripley wants shot of the Robert Stone brand and Mercedes Martinez. She challenges Mercedes to a steel cage match next week. And we find out later in the night that Martinez is champing at the bit for this as well. And she accepts the challenge. Cage match next week. Rhea Ripley versus Mercedes Martinez. It's going to be a belter, that, isn't it? Woo! They're going to batter each other. The colossal Bronson Reed out next. New music, new Tron, new nickname. Really getting behind the Bronson Reed train here, and I'm here for it. He's taking on Timothy Thatcher. Very different styles from these two, and I love how they worked it. So Bronson Reed overpowering Thatcher, but Thatcher spots a target and just zones in on it, and it is that left arm of Bronson. He just wears it down and wears it down and wears it down, and that is the kicker. Every time Bronson starts to get some momentum in the middle of this match, Thatcher goes for the arm. It's classic Thatch. Outside the ring, this fight spills after Bronson hits a dive onto Timothy Thatcher. Bronson's a big guy. What can move? He throws Thatcher back into the ring, and then here's Austin Theory out of nowhere, who just plants Bronson Reed on the ground with a massive bulldog. Chucks Bronson into the ring, and despite Bronson's best efforts to fight it away, Thatcher gets that arm bar in, and we get the tap out from Bronson Reed. Giving this a B, I thought Bronson doesn't lose anything by submitting here, because it was a real fight to get him to tap out in this one. Both guys flourish here. Timothy Thatcher just continues just to be this wicked, diabolical wrestling heel that I just love the bones off of. And Bronson Reed, you know there's big things planned here. And we're bleeding into this feud with Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. I'm intrigued to see what these guys can do. And so we come to main event o'clock already. Strap this to my veins. A fatal four-way, 60-minute Iron Man match for the NXT Championship. Currently held in abeyance, Johnny Gargano, Finn Bálor, Tommaso Ciampa, and Adam Cole. Strikes all round to start. We see Ciampa clean in house early on as well. We get a great exchange between Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, which kind of, if you weren't sure, now you know that Gargano is the heel and Adam Cole is the face here. Cole very much has the babyface vibes about him throughout the majority of this match. We go a good 20-odd minutes before everybody gets knocked down, and we go a little bit longer before we get our first pinfall, and it is from Finn Bálor, who takes over on everybody, hits everybody with the shotgun drop kicks outside the ring, then gets Cole into the ring, hits him with a coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. As we get to the halfway point in the Iron Man match, it is all Bálor. He's dominating Ciampa, he's dominating Gargano, and then Cole can't even get a look in at this point. Ciampa does find an opening. He hits Willow's Bell and the fairy tale ending on Finn Bálor. But here's Gargano to hoist Ciampa out of the ring and take the pinfall for himself. Gargano is on the board. Not long after that, Adam Cole super kicks Gargano as he's going for a slingshot spear, follows that up with the Panama Sunrise, and boom, Cole is on the board with a pinfall as well. Ciampa now getting desperate as he's the only one without a pin in this match. He comes alive after this. He cracks Cole and Gargano with a double Willow's Bell, then hits the fairy tale ending onto Cole for the 1, 2, 3. Now it is one apiece with about 20 minutes to go. Bálor and Ciampa are having heated exchanges in the ring. We've got Gargano and Cole having heated exchanges outside of the ring. As we get to the final 10 minutes, everybody is avoiding everybody's finisher. Great moment there by Ciampa as Gargano locks the escape in onto Cole. Ciampa doesn't want anyone else to get an advantage. Of course not. So he pulls both men out of the ring and they just drop onto the ground like rocks. Unpleasant. This is where Ciampa once again fights back into this match. With 30 seconds to go, he lands an air raid crash off the top onto Johnny Gargano. Bálor then hits a coup de grace out of nowhere for the 1, 2, 3. Bálor is now one fall up on all of the other lads with now something like 8 seconds to go. He's about to become the NXT champion. Then boom, out of nowhere, big kick by Adam Cole. That big last shot kick to the back of the head of Bálor. He can't quite get Bálor over. I think Jack put this best in the office. A heart-stopping finish here. As Bálor just is lay on his front, he's not moving. Eventually, Cole gets him turned over. As the clock counts down, the ref counts 3. And with 0.1 of a second to go, Adam Cole gets that 3 count, that extra point. And suddenly, it is a tie between Adam Cole and Finn Bálor. Out comes William Regal. The crowd are chanting for 1 more hour. William Regal has a different solution. He says next week, it'll be Adam Cole and Finn Bálor to determine the NXT champion. 1 fall to a finish, sudden death. And that is where we go off of air for tonight. One hell of a main event. And I'm going to give it an A as opposed to an A+. Because I feel like we probably should have had a winner. The more I think on it, we should have had a winner. The finish is hotly debated. The idea of it being a draw after an hour, that sort of feeling of, oh, really? After an hour? Still haven't got a champion? Had there been paid fans in attendance, this would have been a bad move. This would have been a bad call by WWE, as people spent money to see a fallout from this and not get an actual winner. That has sucked. But there wasn't any. So I guess it's kind of forgivable in that sense. We're just getting this spilled over to next week. So I'm not as angry about it as some people are online. I think generally the match was stunning. I thought it was a really solid match. Just wish we'd had a winner. I think if we'd had a conclusive winner, it would have been an A. Top marks to that finish, though, that was literally timed to the dot. To the absolute dot. It was beautiful work. But if we'd had a winner, I'd have given it an A+. Just saying. Ironically, the show with one of the longest matches in NXT history has the shortest episode of Graded. We're done here. Giving this an A. Thoroughly entertaining episode of NXT this week. Even outside the feature match, we had a great street fight to kick things off. We have the continued progression of Bronson Reed. Next week, they are shaping that up to be another big night. We have got a dinner party between Candice LeRae and Tegan Nox. That might end in a fight. We have a steel cage match between Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez. That'll definitely end up in a fight. And Adam Cole and Finn Bálor fighting for the NXT Championship. Now, we're still a bit sore about not having a winner after a phenomenal match in the main event of this week's show. So Cole and Bálor have the opportunity to maybe go above and beyond next week to determine a new NXT champion. We will find out when Super Tuesday returns, once Clark Tuesday removes his glasses in that phone booth. It was him all along. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.